Have you ever met someone who seemed charming at first, but later left you feeling drained, confused, or strangely small? One minute they seem confident, warm, and magnetic. The next minute they are cold, defensive, dismissive, or impossible to talk to. And you end up asking yourself, what is actually going on here? In this video, I want to explain the psychology of narcissists in a simple way. Not to label everyone you dislike, not to turn this into internet drama, but to help you understand the pattern so you can stop blaming yourself when someone keeps pulling you into emotional confusion. A lot of people think narcissism just means loving yourself too much, but that is usually not the real story. Most of the time, narcissistic behavior is built on shaky self-worth that needs constant support from the outside. That support can come from praise, attention, status, control, or always being right. So what looks like huge confidence is often something more fragile underneath. That is why narcissists often need so much admiration, and it is also why they react so badly to criticism. To most people, feedback feels uncomfortable. To a narcissistic person, even small feedback can feel like a deep threat. That is why one simple comment can turn into anger, blame, denial, or a full argument. You bring up one issue, and somehow you end up defending your tone, your memory, and your whole personality. Pause for a second. Have you ever talked to someone who could dish out criticism all day, but completely fell apart when they got even a tiny amount back? That is a clue. Because the self-image looks strong, but it bruises very easily. And that leads to one of the biggest traps in narcissistic relationships, confusion. You start thinking, maybe I said it wrong. Maybe I was too sensitive. Maybe this is my fault. But a lot of that confusion is part of the pattern. If they keep the focus on your reaction, they do not have to sit with their own behavior. Now let's talk about the relationship cycle because this is where people often get stuck. A narcissistic dynamic often starts with charm. You feel chosen, seen, special. Then, once you get attached, control starts showing up. Maybe they need constant attention. Maybe your boundaries annoy them. Maybe everything starts revolving around their needs. Then comes the part that hurts. Criticism, dismissal, mocking, withdrawal, punishment, and now you are stuck chasing the warm version of them from the beginning. That is what keeps many people in the cycle. So let's make this practical. Here's a simple tool I'd use, and I call it the boundary filter. Ask these 4 questions. 1. Do they respect the word no, especially when it is inconvenient? 2. Can they handle feedback without punishing you? 3. When they hurt you, do they repair it or just defend themselves? 4. Do I feel smaller after being with them? That last one matters a lot, because your body often notices the truth before your mind is ready to admit it. If you keep leaving interactions feeling drained, confused, guilty, or less like yourself, that is data. And here is the hardest truth. Your job is not to fix the narcissist. Your job is to see clearly. That might mean stronger boundaries, less explaining, less defending, more distance. Because healing is not about finding the perfect words that finally make them understand. It is about getting your reality back. So remember this, charm is not the same as safety. Confidence is not the same as character. And intensity is not the same as love. If someone keeps making you feel smaller so they can feel bigger, that is not a pattern you have to keep translating forever. If this helped you understand a pattern you could never quite explain, subscribe for more simple psychology videos.